Lost Marsh of Hammond has become a recreational and environmental oasis in an area dominated by smokestacks, fuel tanks, and industrial traffic. Developed on a 330-acre site that once served as a dumping ground for steel slag, a non-toxic byproduct of the local steel mills, the site was slated to become a trash dump.
The residents of Robertsdale at that time rose up in the local citizens organization and they said, no, we do not want a trash dump here at George Lake. We deserve better. And so after 30 years of, quite frankly, persistence by the neighborhood and the people here in Robertsdale, we've been able to put together this great facility that we call the Lost Marsh Environmental and Recreational Area.
This year-round recreational site has hiking and biking trails and will soon include a 200-foot fishing pier. In winter, the driving range becomes an ice skating rink, plus there's a sledding hill and cross-country skiing trails. The golf facilities include a First Tee Youth Golf Academy and an accompanying 9-hole youth course. And then there's the recently completed 18-hole championship golf course. It was designed and engineered by Charles Howard Engineering, based in Austin, Texas.
He's done over 100 courses, and this is really, and he'll even tell you this, is his most challenging course to date because of all these special situations, dealing with the environmental guidelines that were necessary. He's really spent a lot of time making sure this was the way it had to be done. There was a lot of unknowns with the construction that really tasked not only the architect, but also tasked me from trying to make sure the growing medium was going to work that could sustain a healthy turf grass. And so, with dealing with that and dealing with the slag that's underneath the project, making sure that sometimes we had fly ash from the cap that would come up and see if we'd have to cut that one out. Just little things that you can't really predict is going to happen. That's what really made this the most unique challenge.
Players are treated to a unique experience with a design that incorporates 3 different golf course styles. The water holes are very challenging, with island greens, island tees, and 4 island fairways.
We've got the hole out there, number 4, that where you actually have to hit from pod to pod, where you have to hit over water 3 times before you get to the green. When you get done with that, you can go through the woods, which is even more of a traditional golf aspect. And when you're done with that, you can also go out and you can play part of the golf course in more of the link style, where there's not as many trees, where there's more sand, where kind of the rolling hills get you more of a view of Scotland. Instead
of the traditional blue, white, and red tee markers, Lost Marsh chose to go with black, green, and yellow.
Golf course can be very challenging. If we get more of the senior golfer who really shouldn't be playing from the green tees, we want them to feel comfortable enough to go up to the yellow tees without having to feel like he's playing the quote traditional ladies tees.
Railroad rails were selected as appropriate tee markers for this former heavy industrial site.
They don't get stolen because you can't pick them up. No one whacks them with a club because their club's going to be utterly destroyed. And to date, I can honestly say we haven't lost any of them to vandalism, we haven't lost any of them to theft.
Lost Marsh of Hammond is the only golf course in Indiana participating in the Audubon International Silver Signature Program. Audubon wrote the Natural Resource Management Plan and has been involved with the project throughout the construction process.
I've dealt with Audubon at a few courses in the past, so I was familiar with them enough, and it's worked out really well. And I would consider it a huge success in dealing with them up to this point, and I can only see nothing but good things in the future.
For several decades, wildlife sightings on this property were scarce. Today, you'll see swans, geese, and ducks on the re-established wetlands. Natural habitat areas have been restored, and raccoons, possums, coyotes, deer, and a variety of birds are making a strong comeback.
For these natural habitats that we have marked here with the environmentally sensitive area signs, is their sole goal was to try to create more and more wildlife that make the site more attractive so more wildlife will come and get established here.
Lost Marsh is the largest voluntary environmental remediation program in Indiana and the largest brownfield remediation project in the Midwest. It has received widespread acclaim, including the Governor's Award for Environmental Excellence, the Golf Digest Junior Development Award, a U.S. Environmental Protection Agency grant, and recognition by the United Nations Conference on the Environment.
I think we've been successful here at Lost Marsh because not only did we put together a good plan from the very beginning, but we brought in the community. The residents were brought to the table to help us discuss the plan, and we brought together all the environmental let's say, organizations and tried to get their input as well. And as we developed the project, we always bounced it off the community as well as the environmentalists. Now, not to say that there weren't a few bumps along the road, because there are going to be, in a project which is this large. But I think that's a very, very important thing, is that we put together a good team, we had community input, and in the end, because of that, we were successful.